Hey there, gang. Thanks for tuning in for episode 4 of Southern Weird and Wild. We like to bring you stories of the supernatural, the paranormal, the totally weird and wild tales from the southern USA. Today we get to hear from a man named William. William jumped across the pond a couple of decades ago when he moved from England to Mississippi. He bought a piece of land in the country with a little house on it so he could focus on his writing. That was before he'd ever even heard of the legend of the Rougarou. That's Southern speak for werewolf. So sit back, relax, and let's listen to William's story.
Well, sorry this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. My name's William, and I've got one that's been sitting heavy in my chest for months. One that started as somebody else's old tale and ended up mine. I came to these woods 20-odd years ago, fresh off a plane from England. Left behind the grey drizzle and the polite murmurs of London for the slow, humid heartbeat of Mississippi. I was chasing quiet. The kind of quiet that lets words settle on the page instead of getting drowned out by traffic and neighbours. Found this little cabin tucked back in the pines. No neighbours closer than a mile. Just me, my typewriter, and 2 good hounds, Baxter and Rosie. It was perfect. Or it was, until the stories started finding me. Folks down here love their legends the way some love gospel. They pass them around like cornbread at supper. And one name kept coming up, whispered low over coffee at the diner or muttered when the moon hung fat and full, the Rougarou. Now, I'll admit I smiled the first few times I heard it. Rougarou. Southern tongue twisting the old French loup-garou into something that sounds half hungry, half haunted. Werewolf, plain and simple, but with a Bayou twist. They say if you break Lent, eat meat on a Friday during the 40 days, you wake up with fur on your back and blood on your tongue. Others claim it's a curse passed mouth to mouth. Look one in the eye 3 times and you're marked. Or maybe it's just a big old feral thing that's learned to hate the smell of the man. Me? I didn't put stock in any of it. I'd read my share of folklore for research, sure, but belief. That was for children and drunks. I'd nod, say, "That's so," in my best polite Englishman voice, and go home to write about things that stayed safely between the covers of a book. Then came the night that changed the math. Full moon, October. Air crisp enough you could almost taste frost. I was at my desk, lamp low, dogs sprawled by the hearth. Around midnight they both snapped upright, like someone had yanked invisible strings, ears flat, hackles up. Then they bolted for the back door, paws scrabbling, whining high and pitiful. These are dogs that have stared down a black bear without blinking, but that night they sounded like pups caught in a trap. I opened the door. They shot past me, tails tucked, and pressed themselves against the far wall like they wanted to disappear into the logs. I stepped onto the porch, flashlight beam cutting through the dark, and there, maybe 60 yards back among the pines, were the eyes. Not deer eyes, not coyote. These were big, slanted, glowing, that sick yellow-green that makes your stomach drop. They didn't blink like an animal's eyes should. They held, steady, watching. Like whatever owned them was deciding whether I was worth the trouble. I called out, "Hey!" voice stronger than I felt. The eyes blinked once, slow, deliberate, then vanished. No sound, no crash through the brush, just gone. I stood there till my bare feet went numb on the boards. Told myself it was a big cat, maybe a panther somebody swore didn't live here anymore. Told myself the dogs were just spooked by a scent on the wind. But when I locked the door that night, my hands shook. Next morning I walked the woods like always, coffee still hot in my thermos. That's when I found the first real sign. Tracks. Big. Too big. Pressed deep in the soft black mud beside the creek. Longer than my size 12 boot. Wider too, with claw divots at the front like somebody drove nails through leather. I knelt, put my hand next to one print. My fingers didn't reach the edges, and the stride. Long, like whatever made them wasn't in a hurry, just strolling, knowing nobody would follow. The smell hit me then. Musky. Wet dog left out in the rain, mixed with something rotten sweet, like meat left too long. It hung low, clinging to the ferns. I started noticing more after that. Scratches on the live oak behind the shed. 3 parallel gouges, deep enough to show white wood underneath. Hair caught in the bark, coarse and black, longer than any hounds. A deer carcass, or what was left of it, 50 yards from the house. Not eaten clean like a coyote or panther would do. Torn open, guts pulled out and left steaming in the cold. Like the thing had killed for sport, not supper. One evening the howls started. Not coyote yips. These came from deep in the chest, rising into something almost human. Screams that twisted into laughter at the end. They'd start far off, then circle closer, then fade like they were toying with me. Baxter and Rosie wouldn't leave the rug by the fire after dark. They'd growl at the windows, low and constant, till their throats went raw. I asked around, quiet-like. Didn't want folks thinking the Englishman had gone squirrely. Old Mr. Thibodeau at the feed store just looked at me with those pale eyes and said, "You seen the shine yet?" When I nodded, he spat tobacco juice and told me to hang a colander on the door. "Counts the holes till sunrise," he said. "Keeps it busy." I bought the salt anyway, sprinkled a line across the porch. Felt foolish doing it. Then came the night I saw the shape. Fog thick as cotton batting. Moon just a smear behind it. I was on the porch with the shotgun across my lap. Not hunting, just holding it. Something moved at the tree line. Tall, shoulders too wide. It dropped to all fours, loped a few steps, then stood again, slow, like it was stretching after a long sleep. I couldn't make out details, just outline against the mist. But it turned its head, looked straight at me, and those eyes caught the porch light. Same yellow-green, same knowing stare. I racked the slide, yelled something I don't even remember. Fired once into the trees. The shape dropped low and melted into the dark. Branches snapped for maybe 10 seconds, then silence. Next morning I found claw marks on the shed door again, fresh, and on the porch rail, right where I'd been standing, 3 long scratches in the wood, like it had reached up, like it had marked the spot. I still don't know what I believe. Could be a big stray, could be a bear with mange, could be my mind playing tricks after too many nights alone with only my own stories for company. But the dogs know, they don't lie. And the woods, they feel different now, like something's claimed a corner of them, and it ain't me. So here I sit, same fire, same cabin, same woods pressing in. I keep the colander on the door, I keep the salt line fresh, and when the moon gets full, I keep the shotgun close. So there it is. I'm still living out on this land, keeping my dogs safe. I really appreciate Southern Weird and Wild for letting me come on the show and share my story. And if you hear something counting holes in the night, don't answer. Cheerio, mate.
Wow, I'm really glad we had William on the show tonight. We hope you enjoyed episode 4 from Southern Weird and Wild. Bigfoot, aliens, that's one thing. But I had always been a bit skeptical about Rougarou. Not anymore. How about you? Until next time, where episode 5 is dropping next week, will leave chills running down your spine. Later, Gators.